Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chine, and I'm going to do a review of a couple of episodes of Scandal because it's so similar to what's going on right now in our political environment. Let's get into it. So Hollis Doyle has slithered his way to be a front runner, right? He stole Millie's campaign slogan, her ideas, and everything. So he is now in the running to be a president alongside Millie and Susan. So Abby and Olivia have decided to form a truce right now because they are trying to get Hollis out of the picture, right? Because she is for Susan and of course Olivia is for Millie, but they still try to get dirt on each other while trying to get Hollis out of the way. So David Rosen was sleeping with Liz, right? And when Susan came up to be a candidate for the presidency, Liz was like, you're going to have to do whatever you need to do to get her to stay in the race or want to be president. He did just that. All the way up to right here where he is asking for her hand in marriage. All the while sleeping with Liz. Meanwhile, Cyrus has crossed over, right? He is on the other side of the aisle. He is trying to get a Democratic person elected, Frankie Vargas. And he is here talking to Olivia and telling Olivia that he is the real deal. And what is it they have to do? Because Olivia has told him that her father is the one who is running all of this. He is devastated. So even though Abby and Olivia are trying to get Hollis out, they're still trying to get each of their persons to drop out, right? So Olivia's dad wants Jake to be the vice president to the first black president, Ellis. You know Ellis, who wanted to marry Olivia until he found out Olivia was with Fitz? So what does he do? Because Olivia and Abby are still trying to get dirt on each other. He gives Abby the paperwork when Olivia went and got rid of the baby that she had by Fitz. Abby is shook. Ellis literally has no idea what's going on. He really thinks that Olivia's dad is just backing him with a super PAC, but all the while he wants to run the White House. So he's telling him he's going to find a vice president. He told him, I got one, Jake. I want Jake to be your vice president. So he's like, no. Of course, you know, Papa Pope gets in his face. He does his Papa Pope thing, scares the mess out of Ellis. That's why Olivia didn't want him. Child Marcus has risen up in this political world. You hear me? He is now like Millie's right-hand man. Also, crushing on Millie. And Millie needs that because he motivates her. And he tells her that she can do this when she thinks about being the vice president for someone else. Right? He was like, no, you can do this. She is smitten. Child, so Ellis has asked Jake to come so he can talk to him, right? Jake's like, okay, whatever. He was like, oh, I'm just here to tell you that, you won't be my vice president. He said, oh, I am. I'm going to be your vice president. He was like, that's why Pope chose you, because you don't know anything. He got all in Ellis's face and scared him to death, and Jake is going to be his vice president if he becomes president. So, of course, Olivia has come up with a scheme to get Hollis Doyle out. So, Sally Langston does the Liberty Report, right? So she has him on her show. He's talking about how he's for the people, and he doesn't care about this rhetoric because Olivia has just left from a visit with him where she recorded everything that he said in that private visit. So then Sally plays the video where Hollis is talking to Olivia, talking about he doesn't want to shake these people's hands. This is just rhetoric. He has to appear like he's in cahoots with the demographic of people. And then he says that's taken out of context. And Sally was like, I'm sure it is. Of course, Hollis is out. So Olivia had gone to see Ellis, right? And she told him what he would have to do in order to get out of this from under her father and Jake. Right? He would have to say everything that he feels about Hollis Doyle. He did that, which took him out of the race. Now, Frankie Vargas is the Democratic head runner. He's the only one. Cyrus is a happy lamb. So Abby had called Olivia. She said she wanted her to come to her office so they could talk about what they have on each other, right? Well, Olivia didn't do that. She did come to the White House. She was in the Oval, and somebody let Abby know that she was in the Oval. Because now they're going to talk to everybody. Millie, Susan, David Rosen, Liz, the president, everybody, right? So they're getting ready to give their story. So Olivia goes first. And what Olivia has on Susan is that David Rosen had greased somebody's palm about some sugar cane or whatever. It's illegal. Susan was pissed. It's the second time she said David has lied to her. She gets up and she quits, right? Now they want to know, what does Abby have on Mellie? But Abby doesn't have anything on Mellie. Abby has it on Olivia. But she said that Mellie went to see a psychic a couple of times when her son died. She just could not bring herself to say that Olivia had got rid of a baby. She couldn't do that. So, Olivia cannot let anything go. So she was like, what was in the folder? She was like, what was so bad on Mellie? She was like, it was not on Mellie. It was on you, about what you did that night after Mellie did the filibuster situation. She quickly let her know that nobody knew that, right? Fitz doesn't even know. How does she find out? She said, your father gave it to me. And Liv, I don't think he's through yet. Oh my goodness. So Jake and Papa Pope go to see Ellis because he has taken himself out of the race. But what Papa Pope didn't know is Jake was trying to get a message to Olivia. And he said, tell Olivia I want to be saved. I want to see the sun. He went right on over there and told her. Now, how surprised were y'all to find out that Tom liked Cyrus? Tom and Cyrus is a whole thing. Right here, Cyrus is trying to figure out where Michael is because Michael has taken Ella, his baby, and left, right? So Tom found him and he was like, what do you want me to do? I can get the baby. He said, no, I have a vice president to pick. Child, and Fitz had gone into Abby's office. She left Olivia's file on her desk. He is here reading it. She's on the phone with Liv. She had to hang up. He's like, what is this? Right? And he is in disbelief. He doesn't even believe what the paperwork is saying. So Fitz is supposed to introduce Mellie at the convention, right? And his speech is all about him. He said, my speech needs to be about me just to raise you up. She was like, no, it doesn't. She read him his rights. And you better believe Fitz changed that speech and it was all about Mellie. She let him have it. Child, after Ellis had delivered the message from Jake, Olivia was like, I'm not touching it. It's my dad. He will unalive someone. I don't want to do it. Huck told her, you're going to have to do it straight up in the face, knock on the door, and go get him. And that's exactly what Olivia did. She went in the house and got Jake out. Olivia has Jake. So Cyrus had gone to ask David Rosen to be the vice president pick for Frankie Vargas, right? Frankie said, I don't know him. I don't trust him. Even though he's a Democrat working with the Republicans, I don't trust him, right? But Frankie said, I trust you, Cyrus. Cyrus is the vice president pick, right? So here comes Tom. He's ready to go. Cyrus did a Cyrus hunting. Cyrus told Tom that he's called Michael, right? He's made up with Michael. Michael and Ella are here so he can come out as the vice president's nominee for the Democrats. Look at Tom in the background, devastated. He is hurt. Cyrus is the Democratic vice president nominee along with Frankie Vargas. They go out here waving. He's got Michael and Ella. He's got, Frankie has his wife. And what happens? He is assassinated. Yes. And all of this was a plan from Papa Pope. Because not only did that happen to Frankie, but child, Jake is the vice president. He is Mellie's running mate. So Papa Pope got everything he wanted. Ooh, let's go into the other one real quick. Child, this is season 6, episode 1. And these three amigos are standing there watching the channel as Mellie has lost the presidency. And at this moment, Frankie Vargas has been assassinated. Mellie and Olivia are drinking champagne and both devastated. She apologized to Mellie for losing. Like, together, they're holding hands. And then all of a sudden they hear what the news has going on. They run into the room. So they found this gentleman back here on the television. He's the person of interest. What they don't know is, like, he's the guy, but he's not the guy. But he won't sign the confession. Jake goes in there, makes him pee on himself, and then he signs the confession. Child, Frankie Vargas is gone, right? But they can't say he's gone because Fitz has to make sure that the guy that they said did this is the guy that they said did this. So Abby takes her phone out of her purse. She can't call her kids. And nobody knows that this man is no longer with us. So now, child, they running the tape back. They see how Cyrus was backing up after he had shook hands with him. And it looks like Cyrus may have had something to do with it. Mellie tells Fitz that she wants to be the president, all the while the president has gone to the hospital with a comatose Cyrus and sworn him in as the president. Fitz is making a speech about Frankie's wife, and Cyrus is going to be the president-elect. Olivia and her team got to work. She walks in and tells Cyrus that she knows he did it.